Yes, well, tonight seems a perfect opportunity for me to commune with you all and to have a short time with you, not too long. I don't want to put you all to sleep.
Okay.
I know you all have your various work and such and private things that you must do, so I understand this. I shan't put you all to sleep. I'm sure you're all rather tired. But we must discuss, and it must be discussed, the matters that are taking place in your world now compared to when we last spoke some time ago.
Yeah.
Because by all accounts, much has moved along since we last discussed this, you'll understand.
It has, yeah.
And you are most certainly in a different place to where you were, say, 4 months ago.
Yes. Unexpected
Yes.
to where we were, yeah.
Yes. And you are unexpectedly, one would say, in a seemingly better position. And yet all around you, so much is still going wrong.
Yeah.
You are watching conflict being engaged in parts of your world, far enough away from you to feel it's not a problem, but yet close enough for, once more, those people who control the thoughts of the masses on your world to create reactions within you all, to create reactions within. I'm trying to get control of your mind. Backwards, please. Good boy. One moment, my friends. One moment.
Sure. Okay.
Yes. Very good. Back you go. Back you go. Yes. I know you've not done it for a while. That's fine. Yes. Very good. Now, I know that those who create reactions within the people of your world, your media, your government, your ministers, your experts, so-called, are doing a beautiful job as usual. Nothing has changed in creating and instigating reactions amongst the people of your world, you understand?
Yeah.
And that is continuing now. I must draw your minds back to what I've said in the past, because that still applies, my friends. That in order to bring about the new, not new, and I'm not saying the new should be welcomed, please understand this, but nonetheless, in order to bring about the new, you must destroy the old. You must destroy the structure that exists now before implementing the new structure required. So as Anthony told you about the new structure for your finances some time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you must set about destroying the existing structure. So in the times ahead, whilst there'll be probably a short period where you are on what seems like a straight road, I will use the analogy of the car driver, if I may.
Yeah.
When you're driving along a road, say your motorways, if your motorways are continually curving, if there's always a curve in the road, the cars seem to move in a more balanced manner. You see them travelling in a balanced way.
Yeah.
You can move between the traffic, but the moment the road opens into a long straight section, you understand, suddenly everybody commences to race along the road. Suddenly that's when you will find the jam. Most jams in traffic on your roads happen on the straight roads, not where the curve is. You understand? You understand,
Yes.
Paul?
Yes. Right.
Once you've turned the corner, suddenly everybody gallops, puts their foot down, moves between the lines, and races. Suddenly, up ahead you will start to see many red lights breaking on that straight.
Yes.
Because They now have a clear view down the road. They can now see the destination. They can see a point ahead of them. But when the roads are curving and weaving, you can't see that.
Yeah.
So you tend to drive with a little more caution. You hold back.
Yeah.
And that, right now, you are on a curve. So you are all travelling along at a very mild pace, you understand. There is a curve that you are all going round. So you're all feeling, to some degrees, positive. And quite rightly you should, because right now you can enjoy and have a rest from that which you've been suffering during recent years, you understand.
Yeah.
But you are travelling around a curve, and as a result everybody around you is behaving and driving in a driving their lives, I must say, in a far more normal manner. They are now somewhat more normal than they have been in the past, because you're on, like the motorist, you're on a curve, you understand.
Yeah.
But very soon you will turn the corner in due course, and then you will see a long straight ahead of you.
Right.
Metaphorically speaking,
Yeah.
of course. And then you will see people start to race and rush and start to become more erratic in how they live
Yeah.
and how they behave. And it is when upon that straight that the people of your world, the influential ones, will and do try to manipulate your behaviour and emotions yet again. It is when you turn the curve. You have these curves for a short time because they know it will calm you down. You are treated like animals. You are treated like animals. You are treated in such a manner that you can't see what's coming. You are fed what you're fed. And then when the time is right, they will influence you. They will throw in the next problem for you to all deal with. Right now, the problem of your finances in your world is going to be a vast one in the times ahead, my friends. Finances are going to be a problem, because the old money system must be destroyed, you understand, for these people to achieve their desires. And that will be brought about by destroying it. You can only bring in the new structure when you destroy the old. You can't have the two existing side by side eternally.
Right. Yeah.
So you will find you will need a catalyst to make this happen.
Yeah.
These people know how to destroy the system, but they need a reason to do it, and an excuse that through your eyes will seem acceptable. Governments, entire governments in your world are going to crumble. All of them. Many political parties in your world are going to vanish, crumble.
Right.
For it must happen if you desire to replace the governments with a new form, with a new type, you understand?
Yeah.
And this is not isolated to this country, it's not isolated to Imperial England, it is a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
It has to come. It doesn't have to come if people reject it. But of course, these people in power, seemingly in power, they are quite capable of creating problems that will prevent people from pushing back.
Yeah.
You've just watched it for 2 years, you
Yes.
understand.
Yeah.
People did eventually start to push back. I said they would. I told you that they would. I told you that many will put feet wrong.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And so I tell you now, my friend, that as time goes ahead, the financial structure of your world will be destroyed, manually destroyed, but of course it will be blamed on something else. Borders that you have must be destroyed in countries various borders will be destroyed and redrawn. But first of all, you must destroy those borders that
Right.
exist in order to move them.
Yeah.
In order to make any great change in your world, my friends, you must destroy it, what is there. It must go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's another obstacle, you understand.
Yes.
So right now, there are obstacles between how you all are living, the circumstances and the situations of your world right now. There are obstacles, and those obstacles are the current status quo, the current method. Your current method of finance must be destroyed to bring in the new. The governments of your world must be destroyed to bring in the new.
Right. Yeah.
You can't usually buy a new car until you've got rid of your old one.
Yeah.
You can't buy a house until you've eliminated the previous one.
Yeah.
Same applies. In order to replace, you must destroy what stands there. The structure that's there must go and be removed. And that is what is taking place now. You are not yet around the bend in the road.
Yeah.
So right now you are all feeling mostly positive in your world. There is positivity returning. There is a sense of confidence returning. But it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's always temporary. That is the curve in the road. Give them a sense of familiarness, a familiarity with life. Give it back for a short time. That is the turn in the road. You go back to a normal way of driving your lives.
Yeah.
And then you will turn that bend, which you could say symbolizes the throwing in of the next problem by those. You turn the bend and then you see the straight. And then you become erratic. And then once more they have you in the palm of their hand. Once more they can manipulate your minds, your emotions. Parts of your world right now which are currently experiencing conflicts will be wonderful excuses to make those changes. There will be excuses to tear down structures that are already there, your finances, your governments. They will also be the same excuses that will have you conform.
Yeah.
You only need one problem. Look at the last 2 years of your lives.
Yeah.
Seemingly one problem. Just one. But so many, many, many different facets to it.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
Yes. And of course they've not gone away. It's still there. We must address the fact that many, many people in your world have been injected with a concoction that's intention is not benign.
Yeah.
Not everybody who, of course, has had the concoction. As I told you more than a year ago now, it's not the first one that's the problem,
Yeah.
but the second, the third, the fourth and the fifth.
Yeah.
And you're fast approaching the fourth and the fifth.
Yes.
And yet, people line up. For many, it's too late. The effects will be felt eventually in some form. You will see cancers accelerate. Coincidentally, of course, in time for the same people to offer a tablet
Yeah.
or a form of treatment.
Yeah.
You shall see other illnesses. You'll see people's thyroid begin to malfunction as
Yeah.
it affects their balance.
Yeah. It's already happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, once more, we can offer you a tablet
Yeah.
or a form of treatment. You will see your health services around the world begin to crumble.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to tell you, by the time it crumbles, it will already have been replaced by a system in which you will financially hold up yourselves and requires mass illness in order to fund it.
Mm.
Because long gone, my friends, long gone is those days of old where how many people are well. Your health services, for most of the time, have worked to make people better. That is the principle. And I'm not talking about the pharmacological side, I'm talking about the health side.
Yeah.
Their job has been to help to make you better. But you must destroy the structure to bring in the new.
Yeah.
The new structure will work much more differently. It will require constant illness to fund it. The old structure worked in such a manner that when you were well, they didn't need as much staff, they didn't need as much money, they didn't need as much space, because you were well.
Yeah.
You were treated and you left promptly, you understand. But the new structure will require space and constant funding. Funding must come from somewhere in this money-driven world of yours, and that will be brought about by illness. Inflicted illness, which will then allow further sales, not only of the concoctions, but many other concoctions that will be injected, taken orally, and put upon you. It's not necessary, but if people are willing to line up to volunteer, then that is their choice. We told them to hang fire, my friends. We told them to wait. Don't rush into anything. But they didn't. Many didn't. Many have held back beautifully, yourselves included. But many others did not hold back. And that is their choice, their free will. They have the right to live how they wish to live. It is none of our business how they choose to live.
No.
We did what we could. Many people are now in a stronger state of mind. But of course, as the normality and the rest, they are like treating you like animals, my friends. They are riling you up, getting you excitable. And then they let you rest and settle. But like an animal in the field or in the wild, it only requires one shot of the gun for all of their senses to fire up, for fight and flight to return. It's important, my friends, that you do not get drawn in to dancing to their music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a fine line between doing the right thing, standing strong, being vocal, and without realizing it, dancing to their tune. You need only look at your world now. One distraction becomes the next, almost seamlessly. And suddenly, people begin dancing to a new tune. Don't, my friends, don't fool yourselves into thinking that there isn't a tune that they have that would make even your minds dance. They know, these people know exactly what proportion. I've told you before, everything is a percentage and probability with these people. They know what to say, print and broadcast in your world to make you yourselves react. They can give you the sob story that will make even the conspiracy theorists, as you are called in your world, they can make you dance. They can make you react.
Yeah.
They know which strings to pull with yourselves. Don't believe you're immune to it. They are clever. They have wonderful minds, very intelligent.
It certainly has been a well-planned
Oh yes, very well planned.
exercise, hasn't it?
And continue it will. It will continue. For there are many structures in your world to be destroyed. I don't just talk about physical structures, of course. I talk about your finances, your economies. Globally, the whole world over will be replaced. Money will go, it must go. Unless you stop it.
Yeah.
The freedoms will go unless you live them and use them and defend them. But don't allow these people to make you jump. I've always said non-compliance, non-reaction. Non-reaction is the best. It is the best form because you will not, how can I put it? You'll not react. You'll not comply. We will do A, B or C and you must do it, but you won't. You needn't walk through a street with a placard. You needn't do any of that. Simply don't do it. And that will be that. Of course, then another, as you call it in your world, bogeyman will be created, thrust in your faces. They have a bogeyman for everybody, friends. They have a bogeyman for all of you. Even the conspiracy theorists. There will be a bogeyman that they are ready to release upon you all. So they can watch your reaction as well as the other people. Be sure not to criticize other people's compliance and reactions unless you know full well that you are always checking yours. Do not fall foul, fall victim for the same technique, but with a different face, a different mask to be scared of.
Yeah.
Much will change. You are on a curve in the road. You are being allowed to relax and you are driving carefully. You are driving this road of life in a much more careful way because there is bends ahead. Not a lot of straight, as you would call it. But very soon, or soon enough, the straight will open ahead of you. That's when people will start behaving a little more erratically and running a little more and believing all is fine. And when that happens, that's the perfect time for these people to throw a few obstacles into the road, to see you all swerve, to see you all brake and behave erratically. Suddenly the constant flow of traffic, which you all could be, you could consider yourselves the constant flow of traffic, will start behaving quite erratically once the straight opens up. And when that does, you will see further problems being thrown into your sight and vision, into your senses for you to react to, all of you. My advice is cease reacting to it. Don't comply with it. Ignore. Be aware. Be aware, but do not absorb it to the point where it takes you over.
Yeah, okay.
As I said, money structures, of course, is just one of the problems. You have borders. There will be border issues. Many border issues. And bear in mind, you're being given a time to relax from the problems that have been. It's almost like the cattle in the field or the animal in the wild. You feel safe somewhat. You can rest, have a lie down. But very soon, you'll hear the bang of the gun and your senses will say, well, dear, bloody hell, here we go again. Something else. It's a psychological game, my friends. It's a psychological game, and they know how to control you all. You just need to be aware that they know, so that you are less susceptible to such, you understand?
Yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile, I won't deny that you should enjoy this time. you should enjoy it. Do those things you want to do. There will be further relaxations for a time more still to come, and I live in hope, it would seem, unless plans are brought forward, you should venture into quite a nice summer this year.
Right.
You should enjoy all that comes and all that is ahead of you. Enjoy the summer. I think you'll find you'll be left somewhat alone mostly. But they won't want you to get too complacent with this. So there'll be little moments where they try to scaremonger you with little things. Just ignore the bloody things. You'll venture into a pleasant spring and summer, my friends. But of course, many people from your world are still crossing into our world. Many of those would have been coming anyway. Many of them have had their time cut short in your world. But then it was always going to be so. The situation, if not changed, was always going to arise, and arise it did. Many warned your world, and many listened, many did not. It was always going to be one of the many choices that those individuals had on their journey. That is the choice that they took. And of course many more will pass into our world, but rest assured, they're coming to a world where they are safe, well, looked after, and where they will go on to live very ordinary, well, to your viewpoint, probably extraordinary lives, but to our point, they will live ordinary, enjoyable lives in our world. Their loved ones, whilst bereft and left behind, may or may not draw a conclusion as to why their life seemed to be cut short. But cut short it was. That was their choice, you understand? Yes. So, go forward, enjoy your summer. The weather is changing, I believe.
Yes, it
It
is.
is, yeah.
Enjoy it. Enjoy this curve in the road. But know that just around the corner, which this curve that most people in your world cannot see, who are unaware of it. But be aware you are travelling another curve along the road, and there will be short little straight patches in which these people will throw these little problems and just back them away and continue on. But eventually will come an open straight of road. And when that straight open road appears, people will be encouraged to drive their lives a little more erratically, and problems will be introduced, obstacles will be introduced. When that time comes, my friends, be very aware. Do not become obsessed with the obstacles in the road. Do not lose your vision, your periphery vision.